What's up, guys? In today's episode we're going to cover a few things that I really wish somebody had told me before I ever started any of this YouTube stuff. We're going to cover some gadgets, we're going to cover some know-how, and some friendly advice. Stick around. One thing you're definitely going to need is a tripod. I bought a cheap one. If I had any recommendation, it would be start out with a cheap one and then maybe later on down the line buy a better one. But if it were me, I would buy like 2 to 4 of these good ones that are relatively cheap. Okay, so the better higher end tripods, they have more of a fluid motion on them, like the head. The head design is more for fluid panning shots, stuff like that. But let's be real, anybody who's doing this YouTube stuff, 9 times out of 10, they're not doing that. Most times what they're doing is they're setting up a tripod, they're throwing their camera on top, and they're just shooting something. Or they'll set the tripod up over there, and I'll be over here just doing my thing, just like I'm doing now. But right now you're literally sitting on top of a kitchen chair, is technically what you're sitting on. So everybody needs at least, I would say, 1 to 2 of these. Now, obviously it has a very compact design. You saw how small the bag was. You can go from, say, a short design that you would put like on a tabletop with a camera pointed at your face or something like that. So see, this is a fairly decent height. So the little hook underneath, a lot of people are wondering what that's for. What that's actually for is so you can hang weight on this to keep your tripod firmly planted in place. So if you take the bag with you, you could, I don't know, throw some rocks in there, whatever you want, zip it up and hang it directly from that hook. Or if you just find something random with some weight to it, you can hang it from the hook. But this, it has the quick release on it with a 1/4 20 threaded adapter on it, so it hooks to most equipment. You snap that in. This one, you can tilt it up, down, you know, has a fully functioning head. But like I said, most people, all they need is a couple of cheap tripods to put around the area that they're shooting, or something that they need for really quick setup. Ready to go. Throw it back in the bag and go. Okay, so I have my tripod set up in my living room. This is usually what I'm shooting out of. So I have this rig right here that holds your cell phone. It has a mount on the bottom and the sides. It has one on the other, it has one on the other side as well. It also has this light, which is battery powered, but it is dimmable as well. I also use this Boya mic. Now, this is what's usually plugged into my phone. Right now I'm using the internal mic in the phone, but this is a Boya BY-MM1. And to be honest, this is very comparable to the Rode mic. For the money, okay, sure, there are some slight differences in the sound quality. Not terrible though. It comes with the dead cat on it already. You don't have to do anything. So usually when you guys are seeing me shoot video, it is literally out of this little rig. I'm literally using Samsung Galaxy S7 still. This is a kind of old phone based on today's technology, but it still works okay for what I need it for. Okay, some other camera equipment that I'm using is this Sony Action Cam, okay? This is the Sony HDR AS20. What this does is this shoots HD video, 1080p, 60 frames per second. Now, I know it's not 4K, but a lot of people, if you look at the videos on YouTube, a lot of people only do video in HD, 1080p. Now, whether that's 30 to 60 frames per second, that's on them. But most often, it is in just 1080p HD video. I got this a long time ago, but it still works fine. I don't currently have an SD card in it or anything, but it works just fine. I also have this waterproof case that came with it. What you do is you just open it up and you slide it in there and snap it together, and it has a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom, so you can put it on any rig, including the tripod that you guys are sitting on right now. I also have this little remote. Now, what this does is it broadcasts a picture. It shows what you're shooting on the screen. Now, there is also an app that you can download and use on your phone in order to see what is on the screen, as well as some controls for this camera. So the Boya BY-MM1 also came with a couple extra cables. I'm using a different cable on my rig right now because I have an adapter that goes in the phone, because you have to split the mic from the headphone signal. And so I had to buy an adapter, plug that into the side, and then plug the microphone input into it. I also have another dirt cheap little mic. It doesn't have a brand name on it, but it's a little pencil shotgun mic. Pencil style shotgun mic? Pencil shotgun? I don't know. Shotgun mic is usually the bigger one. It's like this, but just giant. It sits on top of your like a giant DSLR or a mirrorless or something. I actually have not used this one. I'm sure it works, but usually I'm using the Boya BY-MM1 with the dead cat on it. Don't flame me, PETA people. That's what they call it, is the dead cat. I don't care. It's just what they call it. Also, something new I bought. It's a DJI Osmo Mobile 2. So, let's be real. The cameras and phones are getting better and better every year. So, why not buy a gimbal for one? This is the DJI Osmo Mobile 2, and what it is a gimbal for a mobile phone. I decided to buy this for the channel because it seemed like a no-brainer. I know that I'm using an old Samsung Galaxy S7 right now, but I plan on updating in the near future. I thought about an S9, but the S10 either gets dropped this month or next month. I'm not really sure, but I'm guessing the camera quality is going to be even better than the S9. I'm just guessing on that right now. So either I'm going to update to the S9 or S10, not really sure yet, but dropping a ton of money on a phone just seems irrational sometimes. You have to be able to justify it. So inside here, we have our instruction manuals. We have a quick start guide, disclaimer safety, and also DJI support. Yay! Okay. So inside we have this. It's like a foam case. Crack it open. And inside we have the gimbal and the charging cord. As you can see, there's the Osmo 2 mobile, and here's your charging cable. It doesn't actually come with a charger. You have to do that yourself. And don't be alarmed. A lot of people have issues with these right when they start them up. What it is you'll end up pulling it out, plugging it in, and you'll have like one of these blinking lights and like this green light over here, and it'll be like that for hours, and you'll think that it's not charging, but in reality it just takes a long time to charge. Some people even have to wait like a whole day in order to get this thing charged. So you have to make sure that you download DJI's app, and I'm still learning about how to use their app and stuff, but it seems pretty seamless, I gotta be honest. So a lot of action shots and stuff you guys are gonna see probably shot with this thing in order to keep shake down. We're gonna end up using that quite a bit, I'm sure. It travels very nicely in this little case. DJI. I hope eventually I get to buy some more of their equipment. But here's something else I need to talk about. These are awesome. I bought these little tripods, dirt cheap. I have 3 of them, I believe. So besides my big one, which you guys are sitting on right now, I also have these 3 little ones. Now, these are pretty handy to have. So I also have these little cell phone mounts. These have a 1/4-20 mount on the bottom. So what I do is I also have a 3rd one of these out in my Jeep, along with a suction cup mount. a suction cup mount that has one of these on it, these cell phone holders. So my little tripod in the Jeep has one of these, as well as the suction cup mount has one of these. The suction cup mount stays on the windshield. I actually stuck it to the body one time, did some recording. Pretty much all of my footage been done with this Samsung Galaxy S7, which, like I said, I plan on upgrading that eventually. These ones are stable mount. I mean, you can move the little pivot ball around on these. But this one right here is a little bit different, totally different. So these legs are like foam on this with rubber leg bottoms, so it has grip, right? But this one, sure, it has the rubber grips on the bottom, but each one of these little bands is also a grip. So the reason why these are handy, I took a little vacation down to Florida, and there was a shot off of my balcony that I wanted to get. So what I did was, in order to get the shot, I took a floor standing lamp. I literally drug it out onto the balcony. And what I did was leaned it over the balcony, but I took one of these and wrapped it around it, hung it out over the balcony, and had the mount level like this. So it was hanging out. I think I was on the 12th floor, and I had this tripod and a lamp and my camera hanging out over the balcony shooting footage over the beach. The footage turned out pretty good, to be honest with you, and that's something else you got to learn. In order to get the shot, there are times you're going to have to do some crazy stuff, some stuff that, you know, most people wouldn't do. There is so much to learn about shooting. First of all, you have to be good with the camera, you have to be good behind the camera, and you also have to be good at editing. It's a whole package deal. You have to know so much in order to create good content for YouTube. And I'm still working on it. This is gonna be my second or third video right now. Things I wish I would have known before I got started in all this. Should have made sure that I understood how to use an editing program, but instead I had to work and learn on the fly. Sucks, but sometimes that's what you got to do. Make sure that you have some okay camera equipment, tripods, things like that. Things for production purposes, okay? Lighting. Like I said, all I have is this one little LED light. Other than that, I use natural light sources like windows. I use lights in the house. Things like that. You can change a lot of the ways the light's reflected. Learn about lighting, okay? Also, make sure that you have time, okay? You have to have time to shoot the video. You have to have time to edit the video. You know, all of that takes time. Make sure that you have it figured out what you're gonna do. Make a list. Make a list about, if it helps you to compound a list about what you're gonna do the video about, ideas you have, stuff like that. Write it all down, so then you have material down the road. You have stuff that you want to cover. You have ideas, stuff like that. Here's what sucks. I'm a normal guy. I have a regular job from, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. After that, I go to the gym. After that, I get out. I only have a couple to few hours every day before I gotta go to bed, because I get up very, very early in the morning. So the thing is, you have to make sure that if you don't have the time, you have to make the time if you want to do this stuff. And don't do it for the wrong reason. So many people get into this thinking they're going to make $1 million or something like that, when that is usually not the case. The thing is you have to make sure that you do this because you enjoy it, not because you're in this to try and make money. So just be aware, you don't have to spend a buku amount of money on a couple $1,000 camera or anything like that. Remember, I'm using an old phone right now, and a lot of people, that's where they start. They start by using their old phones or the one that they're currently using. I just have a mic attached, a light, tripod, shoot, do it. And the hardest part is getting started. That is the hardest part. Once you get started, you can keep the rhythm going a little bit, Some people fall off, they won't do videos for a while or something like that, But as long as you get in a rhythm, create a schedule, make sure it works in your work-life balance, okay? Because that's what this is. If you treat it like work, it can become work. But if you're having fun with it and you're trying new things, keep it fun, and you'll want to do it more often. What the channel is actually about is a gearhead. This is going to be a gearhead channel. We're going to work on projects, electronics, machining. It's going to be like a gears and grit. But what you guys can do to help me out is go ahead and like, subscribe, hit the little notification bell in the corner. That way you guys are up to date every time a new video is posted and you're made aware of it. I'm also going to post links for all of the stuff you see in this video that I use. I'm going to post links in the description. You guys follow those links and it'll take you directly to these products, and it'll be a great way to get you started on a budget.